When we wrapped up in California, we would start our journey up to Washington to hit the trails again with Amy at Sawyer. After the trip Amy took us on last year, we let her pick the route again. Our off-trail lake she spotted from a plane ride was going to be hard to top, but for this trip, Amy had an old postcard with some remote lakes on it. Our goal would be to find these lakes and locate the same vantage point that old postcard was taken from. When we got to Washington, we caught up with another Sawyer ambassador, Joe McConaughy, otherwise known as Stringbean. One of the biggest names in FKT history on our long trails, Joe couldn't make it on the trail with us due to an injury, but we were able to get outside and talk outdoors with the legend before heading out of town.
My name is Joe McConaughy. My trail name is Stringbean. I am an ultra marathon runner and FKT athlete. I've set records on the Pacific Crest Trail, the Appalachian Trail, the Long Trail, the Arizona Trail. Anything long and hard. I love just pushing myself to the limit. And I work as a ultramarathon coach, owning my own business, and I also work as a backpacking guide. As I was graduating college, I wanted to do the entire Pacific Crest Trail. I'd gone to the East Coast for school, so I grew up in Seattle, Washington, but had been away from the Pacific Northwest for all of my collegiate years. And I decided I wanted to run the Pacific Crest Trail, so I literally Googled that, and that brought me to FKTs, which was a newer sport at the time. And so I ended up starting out running the FKT and setting the FKT on the Pacific Crest Trail with a support crew, and then that sort of evolved into wanting to do these long multi-day efforts that led me to do the Appalachian Trail a few years later, this time without a support crew, going as a more traditional backpacker, but still trying to run as much of it as I could. Throughout my different adventures or backpacking or running, I've always used Sawyer Products. I guess that's not entirely true. When I first did the PCT, I kind of came into Sawyer when I was doing the AT in 2017. And the product that I first really used a bunch and really just found was a game changer was just the filter. So I used just a Sawyer squeeze on the AT, and I used 2 filters for the entire AT, and it just worked like a charm. I literally can remember multiple times going into garbage cans because the plastic had worn through on my Dasani water bottle. So it literally was cracked, the plastic was cracking because I'd used it so much. And I literally would go dumpster diving to find the right plastic, really you can use any plastic bottle, and just putting that on my filter. So the filter is just a game changer. When I did the PCT in 2014, I used a LED light, I forget what the product's actually called, but I used like an LED light that, you know, helps puts UV rays and kills bacteria. And I also had iodine tabs, and well, sure enough, I ran out of iodine tabs and my battery died on the UV light. And there were multiple times when I went through without any kind of like water protection and doing a 53-day record attempt. You're really nervous about getting some kind of stomach bug and stomach issue. So then when I was going for the AT, I knew I'd need something that was long lasting, and that was also something that was mechanical rather than chemical. And the Sawyer filter is awesome because it's by far like the most reusable water filter on the market, in the sense that you can keep using it, with 1,000 liters of water and it'll still function. So I've always just found that to be so reliable on anything I'm doing. And I've used that on the Long Trail, the Appalachian Trail, the Arizona Trail. It's kind of like my go-to water source or water purification system whenever I'm going. So Sawyer's just been an awesome company. Another huge part of the reason why I got connected up with them is because I'm a big believer in their NGO international work that they do, which is super cool. So they work with a lot of local organizations to help provide local solutions, which I have a little bit of a background working with NGOs in the Dominican Republic and Peru and other places, and seeing their model and how they go about it really is inspiring, and in my opinion the right way to be approaching those types of situations. So I really am a big fan of all the work that they do internationally to make a difference, because I think that's a really awesome component of their business, in addition to all the kick-ass hiker stuff that they're able to provide me and thousands of other people out there.
We had so much fun with Amy last year, we decided we would come out and hike with her again. We are in the Cascades, and we spent the night in Leavenworth last night, and we're in the Wenatchee National Forest area. I'm gonna do 2 nights, 3 days, about 35 miles.
Yeah.
And you picked this one. What's
Oh, we're just gonna get it all meadows, glaciers, lakes, big views of Glacier Peak. So it's gonna
And did you say that you found this place, or you were inspired to come here from a postcard?
Yeah, someone randomly gave me this really old postcard, probably 30 years old, and it had a picture of the lake. So I was like, gotta go.
Last year was from a helicopter, this year's from a postcard.
I love it.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Some of the research and planning we had to do before this, we had to get a Northwest Forest Pass to be able to park. We're gonna have to self-register at the box, and we obviously checked the weather. It's significantly colder up here than it has been so far on our trip, so we brought warmer layers with us. And yeah, the weather's great right now. We've got about 10 miles to go, so we're gonna get at it.
What?
Oh my God! It was right by my head!
That was awesome.
Hummingbird.
We kick off the next morning with 22 miles of dirt roads to get us to our trailhead. The Cascades are one of my most favorite ranges on earth, and I was so excited to be getting outside here again. We had a 10-mile walk ahead of us on day one, with about 4,500 feet of climbing up to get over the glacier. We heard Washington had a record snow year, and the route seemed as if there would be plenty of creek crossings, so we were at least able to go light on how much water we would be carrying up there. Could she do it without her poles?
No.
Definitely, probably
Definitely not.
The hike started out great. The forest here was lush, an easy sight on the eyes after all the areas we traveled through with severe droughts. We marked 22 water crossings on our map that first day, and as we started climbing higher up, we started seeing patches of snow. As we progressed, the forest started to open up and reveal the big peaks we would eventually be climbing up and over today. By mile 6, we entered a meadow straight out of a movie. The glaciers above were feeding waterfalls that poured into this valley from all sides of the canyon. We followed the stream they made up higher and higher. Okay, we just ate lunch in this fabulous location here. Just came through the meadow. Say hi, everyone.
What up?
But now our trail is going somewhere up in there, and then we are gonna have to kind of find our own way up over the pass and come down the other side and find a wonderful campsite. Yeah?
Yeah.
Can we appreciate that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's probably an 8th somewhere out there. But just from our lunch site, we had that many waterfalls. Coming up and out. And going up higher.
Going and going.
We always let Sage off for some cool down wiggles when we get to snow. It's her favorite thing in the whole world. The higher up, the spicier the creek crossings became too. I can't say enough good things about having grip on our shoes and how important it can be to have some trekking poles when you are crossing slippery areas with quick, icy cold water. Alright, so we just made it up to the top of the glacier, up and over the pass, and now we're getting to see what's ahead of us for the next few days. We're going to make our way down this glacier, and then we're going to camp somewhere by one of those lakes in there. But we're definitely not leaving without taking in this view first.
We did it.
All right, the girls are making their way down the pass. Stayed back for a minute, and they reminded me, before getting on glaciers or doing lots of snow travel, the sun actually will reflect off of the white snow and can make it a lot easier to get a sunburn, or you'll get one, under your chin or under your nostrils in places that you normally wouldn't. So just make sure that you think of that before you do some snow travel. But good gosh, would you look at this? This is where we're heading down to camp tonight. After taking in the pass, I sped up to catch up with the girls, trying my hand at shoe glissading. The sun was getting low, so we pushed on in search of a good camp zone. Our bellies growling and our legs ready for rest, we picked the first one we could get and got to cooking.
This right here is why we walk uphill all day long. This is why, we're sitting in maybe a little bit of a mosquito storm, but this is it. This is beautiful. We get to sleep here, we get to cook here, and have a great time.
Oboz footwear. We plant a tree for every pair sold. 1 million and counting. That's a lot of fucking trees.
At Mystery Ranch, we build the best load-bearing backpacks in the world. We design for some of the most demanding users on the planet. We build for a different kind of customer, for folks who inspire us, and for people with a job to do. We work directly with them to really understand their needs. We build with the best materials available and the most durable construction methods that exist, so our users can achieve their mission, whether it's on the front line, the fire line, the cleanest line, or the steepest line. Mystery Ranch, built for the mission.
Whether you want to discover locals-only backroads with a field map or use a topography map to plan your next backpacking trip, maps.com has thousands of options to choose from. Unlike your phone, printed maps are waterproof and guaranteed not to run out of batteries or service. So next time you want to head out on an adventure or even just a drive around town, leave your digital devices at home and grab your old trusty printed map and see what kind of fun you can get into. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Before we get back to our episode, I want to share with you guys some exciting news we've got this season. All of our brand partners have super awesome gear and they've decided to share that gear with you. So we're having weekly sweepstakes where you have the chance to win some of that gear. So make sure you sign up for that. Also starting next week on Mondays and Fridays, we're going to have shorts that'll be anything from tips and tricks from our editorial staff to deeper dives into our brand partners. So make sure you stay tuned for that bonus content there. And make sure you also like, subscribe, follow along, leave us a comment so you can stay up to date with everything going on. And if you see us out on the road, say hello.
All right, so for today's hike, we are going to leave camp, climb up over 2 passes where it looks like we'll be joining a Ridgeline Hike. And that should have some pretty good views of Glacier Peak. And before we go, we're just gonna take our food and make sure we hang it somewhere. We're probably gonna be away from our campsite for a few hours and that food's gonna smell good. So we're just gonna leave it out of reach of any critters and just make sure too that we've got food for tonight when we get back.
We are about to head out on our day hike, and I've got food and supplies I need for the day in here. I'm shocked at how much I was actually able to fit in here. And to basically turn your lid into a day pack, you just unclip the lid, and then you're gonna unclip your future yoke system and take that apart, and then the shoulder straps will attach to the back of this, and you've got a day pack.
As we kicked off our day loop, I was really excited to see our friend Jonathan from last year coming down the trail. We all celebrated getting back together and began our first pass. We entered this big open ridgeline with views for miles and miles. After another 800 feet up, we get our first big views of glacier. I could have sat and stared in awe at that mountain all day and not got tired of it. We find a nice spot to sit down, and Jonathan pointed out the route he took when climbing that beast of a volcano. After a quick bite, we get back on the trail. It seemed we were getting close to the views of the lakes we were seeking. This place was absolutely beautiful.
All right, we've day hiked up the pass today, and we found a little Ridgeline Hike, and we've made it to this sweet lunch spot.
Yeah, and look at this view of Glacier Peak in the backdrop. Pretty epic. Can't beat it.
And who did we find?
Oh yeah, that guy.
Jonathan!
He's back. We've got the same crew from last year now. It feels good.
We considered going one more pass, but we opted to finish our loop out and then move camp to higher ground, away from last night's hordes of mosquitoes. A scree-filled scramble and an icy cold water crossing were between us and camp. The water was a little cloudy from the glacier, so it was scary not knowing how deep it was. We all made it safely without any slips, and that cold water woke us right up. Never underestimate the power of some fresh water. We quickly packed up and made our way back up high for camp.
Leki expands its groundbreaking cross-trail line to include a traditional trekking 3-section configuration. Featuring the innovative hybrid cross shark grip, it offers the speed and power transmission of the trigger shark system, combined with the support of an ergonomic hiking grip for additional support and comfort on descents. The breathable strap features a wide support area for effective power transfer and a secure fit. The sweat-absorbing grip allows for maximum control, and the length adjustment is made easy and secure with the Speed Lock 2 on 100% high-modulus carbon shafts for lightweight durability.
From the moment you wake to the fuel you need, from ingenious products that empower true adventure to simple gear that enables fun, products that perform in any terrain, anywhere, for anyone. A relentless ally for your adventures. The adventures that live inside us all.
You can't take full advantage of hiking if you don't take good care of your feet, and that's why we love Darntough so much. Made in Vermont, they knit category-specific socks from a merino wool blend in a variety of fun colors and designs. Best of all, Darntough offers an unconditional lifetime guarantee on all of their socks. If the pair you buy aren't the most comfortable, durable, and best-fitting socks you've ever owned, return them for another pair. No strings, no conditions, socks guaranteed for life. To learn more about Darntough socks, go to www.darntough.com or click the link in the description below. Recreation.gov is your one-stop shop when it comes to planning your next adventure. With over 4,000 facilities and activities around the country, including camping, rafting, horseback riding, and much, much more, at over 100,000 recreation locations, they've got you covered. Using all of the tools, services, and information on their site, you can dream up your next trip and then go live it. We just packed up our campsite in, I'm pretty sure, record time, because we were going to stay here both nights, but we decided that the mosquitoes were really bad and we wanted to get a little bit uphill some more and see what's up there. So we're going to move campsites and hopefully get a really good view for sunset. this episode we are doing a night 2 meal. It's jambalaya. I'm really excited about this one. So basically I've just got some fresh onion, peppers, celery, and garlic. And if you were doing this on a longer trip, I just wouldn't use those things. I would just make it with the rice, summer sausage, which we're gonna fry in the pan first. I've got a little spices mix that the ingredients to that will be on the website. A little bit of tomato paste, some extra crushed red pepper, and we're gonna use a frying pan and the big ceramic pan. And then we also brought this dash too, just because it's so lightweight. That way we have a designated hot tea rig over there too. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is chop up the summer sausage and the vegetables. We're gonna fry those up. Got all the veggies cut up. I'm putting them separate for right now because I want to cook the meat first by itself, and then we'll toss the veggies in, and then the boil and bag rice will cook in the pot. I want the temperature really high on this because I want to basically fry the sausage. It's already cooked, so I don't have to worry about cooking, and I just want the outside to get a little crispy. All right, so you can see I got the meat a little bit brown, so I'm just gonna add the veggies and cook that all together. Veggies are about done, so I've got them sitting off to the side. We're gonna cook the rice really quick, and then we'll reheat the veggies, toss them around, and mix it all together.
And eat!
So I've strained the extra water out of the rice into our other pot here, but I'm just gonna put the rice in the pot, mix in our seasonings, and then mix in the veggies and meat, and that is pretty much it.
Chef gets to try it first.
That's good.
Yeah?
Summer sausage really makes it actually.
Alright. We doing 3 bites and pass?
Alright, we are pressing another round of coffee. Jonathan and Amy had to get going. They've got work tomorrow, but this is our last day here, so we're gonna try and soak it up as much as we can. Probably do a little bit of stretching, drink a little bit more coffee, and yeah, take this place in before we have to head to Montana.
We slept in our first windstorm last night. You can see it's still kind of windy. Having a really good tent is about more than just rain. It's to keep you safe from all the elements, and we had to guy out one side in the direction the wind was coming from, but overall the tent held up really, really well, and we got an awesome night's sleep. If you don't sleep well in the backcountry, then that can really make or break your experience. So really thankful that this tent held up the way it did.
If we didn't have some really good company and plans with our friends at Oboz in Montana coming up, I might not leave. I might not be packing up right now. Might just build a cabin.
All right, lathering up the sunscreen. Important to put that on first so that it has the opportunity to get down in the pores of your skin. It offers extra protection, and then you put bug repellent on top of it. Step 2 to a good day in the backcountry: bug spray, especially in July. But they are gnarly out here. What do we have over here?
This is a perfect example of getting creative with what you have. We like to use the snow to keep our water icy cold. No one wants to drink warm water, so why not keep it chilled?
About to start our hike for the day, day 3. We knocked out a couple miles yesterday to get to this campsite, so I think we've got about 7 to go today. Mostly downhill, and
then it's time for a hot shower and a cold cocktail.
Yellowstone bourbon is handcrafted in the state of Kentucky. These small batch whiskeys are the work of 7th generation craftsmen, resulting in a unique taste, perfect for the trail. Plus, a portion of every bottle sold goes to helping preserve our national parks. Cheers to that. To learn more about the products from Yellowstone Bourbon, head on over to limestonebranch.com or click the link in the description below.
Since 1984, Sawyer has manufactured gear for outdoor enthusiasts that expect the best. We are an independent brand dedicated to developing and creating technically better protection for everyone. So when you buy Sawyer products, you're not only protecting the ones you love, you're helping protect millions of people lacking access to clean water. And you're helping us to do more. Protect more, give more, and innovate more, which helps us be more than an outdoor company.
What tools do we use to mark the way? We mark time by days, weeks, and years. But the stuff we remember, the good stuff, we mark by moments. Moments where we're challenged and overcome. The kind that get dirt under our nails and fire in our hearts. We believe that every problem has a solution, and that every solution is a moment where we prove who we are. These are moments made.
So if you've been following along, you've been seeing all the crazy stuff that we've been getting into. With the heat waves and all the weight we're carrying, all the camera gear we're carrying, we still have not had a single problem with our feet. And we're super grateful for that. Big thanks to darntough. They're so proud of their socks and they're so sure of their socks that they offer a lifetime warranty. And my favorite part about that warranty is they not only do they offer that to stand by their product, but they have Sarah at darntough, who her full-time job is to get socks that people have tore up or something's happened to, analyze them, and they track the failure points. So as socks come in, she tracks the failure points to see where they're at and marks them down. darntough tracks all of that, and if they start to see patterns, they're going to make sure that next year's sock has a thicker stitch in that place or a little bit more cushion. So they're always getting better. They're always using their weaknesses to grow, and that's pretty admirable. So if you do happen to get a hole in one of your socks, contact darntough, send them back in, they'll hook you up with a new pair, and you're set for life. So we've been traveling around preaching the good word of trekking poles, and I realize a lot of people don't realize that they are fully adjustable, not just in a height sense, but on the strap sense as well. It's really easy. When you have your hand through here, just pull up, and then you can adjust the strap, or pull out, and you can get a little bit more room. The idea is that when you have it through there, you set it to an area where it's going to be comfortable. It's not pulling on your thumb, or there's not too much slack. When it's just right, you can kind of get some push and get a little bit more out of your trekking pole.
So when you're going out in the backcountry, you never really know what's going to happen, which is why I'm such a fan of the Leatherman Tools, because they've saved our skin on multiple different occasions. For example, sometimes things get stuck, or sometimes you might need to pry something, and I think a lot of people's go-to is to use your knife blade for that. You actually don't want to do that, that can break the blade. So there is an actual pry bar feature on these things that doubles as a screwdriver too. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to pry, use one of those, don't use the blade. Our oboz shoes have supported us through a lot of stuff this season, and in order to prolong the life of your shoes, there's really 3 easy steps that you can do. So basically you want to keep them clean, you want to re-waterproof them every now and then, and you want to make sure you're drying and storing them properly. So for starters with cleaning, it's pretty simple. You just want to make sure that you're brushing or using water to get off any mud or dirt that's on your shoes after any trip. You definitely don't want to use any detergents or any harsh chemicals. You definitely don't want to put it in the washer or dryer. So basically just get some footwear specific cleanings. And for like what I have here, you just spray that right on your shoe and you wipe it off. and then that also helps prep it for the waterproof process too. All of oboz shoes come with a durable water repellent finish, but it is really beneficial to re-waterproof your shoes about once a season. That'll help prevent leaking or any kind of false leaking sensation and really prolong the life of your shoe. The last and arguably most important step of this is drying out your shoes. When they're wet, it can be really tempting to put them near a fire or out in the sun, but too much heat on your shoes can actually be one of the most detrimental things. So just make sure that you're storing them in an area where they can air out properly without getting too hot, and you're storing them in an air-conditioned room away from the sunlight. When we finally made it back to the bus, the first thing I took out of my pack was our map. We have a huge stack of maps we've collected over the years that we display proudly on a shelf, and I slap our new edition right on top. I'm really excited about this week's drink. Amy showed us this one, and it's basically a mint julep, but it's got some huckleberries in it. The Cascade region is really popular for having huckleberries, so it's always nice and fun to put some fresh berries in there. So you're gonna start with 2 ounces of bourbon, or more if you're feeling frisky. And then basically you're just gonna put some huckleberry compote in there, which is a mixture of it's like a simple syrup with blueberry and lemon juice. And then you're gonna add some more fresh mint leaves, and you can top it with a sprig of rosemary. And I personally like to actually put club soda on mine too because I like it bubbly, but that part's optional. We are about to head to Montana, and we're planning our route, trying to figure out what road we're going, when we're gonna make our stops. And one of my favorite things about the recreation.gov app and website is the ability to filter features on the campsite that you're going to. Obviously, we have to look for campgrounds that are specifically dog-friendly or that have the ability to house a 36-foot-long vehicle. So just being able to check the boxes of what it is that you're looking for, what you need is really crucial.